So give yourself a nice stretch, everybody. If you want to stand up, you can. And if you want to look around and kind of say hello. These are the people that supported your meditation tonight. It's optional. It's good to see you all. When we first began this group, we were small enough that everybody would go around and say their name. And just hi and say their name. And after a while we got to, and then it would take a little long. So, happy you're each here. And you guys in Zoom, hello. Can hear me okay? Happy to see you all. Awesome. Okay, so everybody want to take one deep breath just to kind of land into a new realm of the evening. Nice. And I want you to pause and thank yourself for showing up, for your self-care. Every time you meditate or listen to a Dharma talk, you're taking care of yourself. You're demonstrating a faith in your willingness to grow and to learn to be more easeful. This is a rare choice. It's not an easy choice, and not a lot of people in the world do it. So feel good about it. You're here again, many of you. So I got inspired for this talk doing an exercise class where I heard the great wisdom teacher, Bob Marley, sing his redemption song. You guys know it well. It's, I'm gonna try, be kind. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Oh, phew. The rest of the talk's gonna be easy now. But that's it. That's the good news. We don't have to look for someone else to fix us, or to free us. And it's the bad news. We have to do it ourselves. So, freeing our minds. Yep, it's that Dharma talk again. Okay, so, of course, it's always that Dharma talk. Looked at from different angles. I'll be teaching this until I don't need to hear it anymore myself, so you don't have to hold your breath on that. Of course, I don't know what particular pressures you're under, as well as any trauma that you might be dealing with, so I hope you won't hear this talk as overly simplistic. Meditation isn't a cure-all. We recommend professional therapy for trauma, but it can support that work too. And at the very least, all of us are navigating the ups and downs of life. So to do this work, we need tools, faith based on experiential evidence that growth is happening, even if it's slow. We need courage to turn towards, not away from difficult emotions. A whole lot of patience, rooted in love and compassion for ourselves. And as we know that when we're more healed, we're more able to help others. So we can do this. We have already begun. You just sat for 30 minutes, so you know it's done one present moment at a time. And we don't judge it from one sit or many sits. This works over time, right? So no matter what's on your plate, I hope you'll leave here more convinced that regarding obsessive, worrisome, or negative thoughts, you do have some choice. Not in what comes up in your mind. No choice happens there. but there is in how you respond. Unfortunately, we have to choose to be present with our sorrows, with understanding, and when we're ready, forgiveness. We have to be with it fully, and that's how it leaves us. We have to feel it to free it. The more we can do this, the more free we'll be. Free to live more peacefully and happily. Hang tight, we'll soon learn more about how. Jack Kornfield, in his book, A Path with Heart, writes about these two POWs who were imprisoned together under harsh conditions. They met back up years later. One asked, "Have you been able to forgive our captors?" He answered, "Hell no. I'll never forgive those horrible beasts and all they put us through. They're unforgivable SOBs." The first guy responded, "Then it sounds like they've still got you captive in that prison." The poor guy was keeping up the torture all those years later by ruminating, unaware of that he was rehashing it. He was keeping it alive and still suffering from it. The thing is, we can't respond unless we're aware of what's running through our minds. Often we're lost in thought during the day, rehashing, trapped in a reinforcing state of mind without awareness of it and its effect on us, our moods, our attitudes, or we're daunted by what's looming in the future or what we're afraid might happen. And we're going along with the thinking, pretty much believing it. So we get used to a certain level of unease, a low level of anxiety feels normal. And we can make things pretty big in our minds, can't we? It's like Mark Twain when he said, "I'm an old man, I've had many troubles in my life, but most of them never happened." Who can relate to that? So it could be that someone spoke to you harshly, or you felt hurt in some way. You're going through a difficult loss, or maybe you feel a deep disappointment or general fear that something isn't going to turn out right or like you planned, or any number of things. The experience will keep cycling back until it's digested, until it's investigated. This is where our training comes in. Our training in awareness that helps us see what's occupying our minds. I'm guessing you just saw what was in your head during that meditation. As we learn to trust awareness and look at our minds more objectively, without preference, we can step back from the ruminations. We become a witness to many of our unexamined views, and we start to understand that we don't have to believe everything we think. It's only when we remember to look at our minds without judgment that we can respond effectively. Like the title of Stephen Levine's book, wonderful book, A Gradual Awakening, that's what we're doing. And of course, we can do it by many different pathways, different spiritual traditions. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong, that the young country-speaking African-American cashier at the Providence Road Harris Teeter hasn't trained in the Buddha's way, but she's got it. So I'm calling this grocery store wisdom. You never know where Dharma is gonna show up. So last week I was there waiting in line while the checkout clerk was smiling and chatting with each customer and giving them her full attention and her sunshine when it was their turn. When I came up, she asked, "How are you doing today?" I said, "I'm good, and you?" "I'm wonderful, and you know what? That's a choice. It's 99.9% your attitude." She went on, "If you have a strong mind, you can enjoy people and enjoy what you're doing. You can choose to be happy. If you have a weak mind, then you give in to being irritable, angry, and to see everything as a problem. She said, you just gotta have a strong mind. It's 99.9% up to you. Made my day. She didn't know I was writing this Dharma talk either, and that she was going in it. Another story, a friend of mine who I've known for about 30 years, because she was my son's piano teacher. She's learning how to do this now. I'm teaching her basic meditation on how to be aware of her thoughts and how to see her worrying as a fruitless habit. I showed her how to wish for herself ease and well-being and to see her mind was in the habit of fretting. It's not her fault. She's just not aware of this habit. She turned 99 years old in early May, okay? And to see her trying out the practice with some success is so inspiring. So you're definitely not too old, never too old to have a strong mind, to find more ease and peace in this practice. She's really getting somewhere. It's really helping her. She has a sound mind at over 99, so gotta kind of have that. If we keep at it for a time, it becomes our natural tendency, right? The Buddha said, bhikkhus, whatever a bhikkhu frequently thinks and ponders upon, that will become the inclination of his mind. You've heard that many times. You'll grow a strong mind, as my new Harris Teeter Dharma pal says, but it is critical that you respond gently with kindness, humor, and love, not criticism. It's not about getting it right or failing at it, using the thinking mind to rationalize or explain it away like, you know that's not true. Or stop it, you're being an idiot. Why are you being so insecure? This doesn't work. This is the mind that believes you can think your way out of it. Remember, you're in awareness training in loving awareness. Of course, old patterns are going to show up. A lot. Rejoice when you see that you actually want to practice off the cushion as well as on. You see yourself wanting to distract yourself from digesting hard feelings by turning to social media or food or shopping or whatever it is you do to escape, and instead, you find yourself pausing to just sit and be present for a while. When you're starting to see the pull of the desire to escape the thoughts and energy, that's big progress. It's a strong pull. You can then kindly say to the difficult emotions, I'm with you, I see you, I feel you, and respond to them like you would to a cherished friend. Awareness usually takes care of it, just being aware. If not, bring wisdom, meaning understanding with care, or embarking on the process of forgiveness. That's another area to train in. It's part of metta. So this is why it's important to practice loving kindness every day with your meditation practice. And you start with yourself. Forgiveness practice falls out, like I said, it falls out of this metta practice. Each day, it doesn't have to take long or feel deep. It doesn't have to feel deep. It will have an effect. And if you embellish it, go all out with your aspirations, it can be strong medicine. Remember, it's not a goal or a demand that I feel happy and peaceful and safe and, you're not demanding this. It's not a goal. It's an aspiration. So why not aspire high? This has worked for me since I experienced this particular kind of extreme, I call it kind of extreme metta, on a retreat in 2009 with Trudy Goodman and Jack Kornfield. And Trudy used the standard categories, you know, may I be safe, happy, healthy, and free. But she guided us, and I'm gonna, if you'd like to try it, if you want to close your eyes for a moment and just kind of feel into this, it's really kind of meta on steroids, if you will. So, for safe from harm, inner and outer, she said, may I be safe from self-critical and fearful thinking, from any harmful thoughts directed at myself. And may I be safe from outer harm, from outside dangers, including driving through intersections or whatever, walking in the city. May I be truly, deeply safe from harm, inner and outer. And you really try that on for size. Deeply safe. May I be happy and peaceful. Truly, truly happy and deeply, deeply peaceful. And may I be healthy, vibrantly strong, with a patient, contented mind, strong mind, and an energetic and strong body. May I be truly healthy. And may I love my life just as it is right now, with my challenges and my good fortunes. May I love my life. And may I be fully, truly free. Free from anxiety, from stress, from worry. Fully, fully free. And then you could go on, just as I wish to be safe, happy, healthy, and free in this way. May my loved ones know this for themselves, in themselves. And when you feel ready, you could start the forgiveness practice. May I find an avenue to forgive this person. May I know deeply and believe that just like me, they want to be happy and cared for. May I understand that hurt people hurt people, and they are hurt. And so sometimes they're hurtful. As I wish to be healed, may they find their way to healing. May I truly see that healed people heal people. And may every being everywhere, without exception, experience these gifts of the heart and mind. May all everywhere be free. So, if you want to open your eyes, you can, or you can keep them closed. So we're all here to know Dukkha as our teacher. May I love my life just as it is right now. Whoa, all of it? I remember when I first heard that, I was like, wait a minute, all of it? And it's, of course, yes, remembering that meeting our difficulties with practice, with this practice and wise attention, we start to experience difficult people, difficult thoughts, and challenging circumstances as our teachers in our life. We can silently say, thank you, I will grow from this. I will grow from this. And expect that this will take time. You'll gradually feel lighter and freer. And don't expect perfection in any circumstance, especially when working with your mind. This is a setup for disappointment. Remember, you're in training. And watch out for the judging and comparing mind. This actually is a path of trial and error. Ehipassiko means see for yourself. When we transgress verbally or with our actions against another or ourselves, we see it show up in our minds, in our meditation. This path requires this regular practice of meditation, including metta. Identify the teachers in your life. Learning to see the difficulties in your life, your worries, your challenging relationships as your teachers is key. We don't get to choose all the events of our life. We don't choose our family members, and we can't control how others behave. We can barely control our own. But sitting with intimacy with our hearts and minds, we can start to see the effects of our choices up close. This is the path of wising up. We're learning to transform what brings us stress and anxiety into more and more moments of peace. So our life becomes our teacher. We learn to accept how it is and how we participate in our own stress by hanging on and living a mindless existence versus mindful. We stop playing the blame game in favor of taking responsibility to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. And in doing so, we're gradually reducing our suffering and the suffering of others in our lives. So I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm also the choir and the teacher and the preacher. Thank you all for listening.